All right. So ready when everyone else is.
Yep, I'm in.
Ready here.
I'm
Yep.
ready.
Okay, so you guys have just brought justice to the corrupt guard Brennan, Brenner,
Yeah.
I believe, and you turned in his last two surviving guardsmen.
Gotcha.
So you guys are now in Yartar. Um,
Where is that?
that's down here.
Oh, okay.
So what would you like to do?
Well, if I remember correctly, didn't we have business in? Um, we were gonna go to Tribor to talk to the Margastar families. We were trying to get information about. We wanted to talk to Othavir so that we can get more information about his sister because we were considering stealing her magic stash.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but she seemed a little cryptic and magical, and we wanted to get more information. So I think we had business in Tribor, and there was also a quest up at Xanthorl's Keep, if I remember correctly, or whereabout. So, what do the rest of you want to do?
Who has
Honestly,
the giant sword? Who's in possession of that?
oh yeah. I don't think we ever decided who was gonna have the.
I thought Bernane was gonna have it, but it didn't it decrease his strength or
It
something?
was a two-handed weapon, wasn't it? So, he would
Yeah.
lose
So
his
Oh
AC
yeah.
as a result of that.
I think we're just gonna. I think we're just gonna have it in our inventories in case we need it.
Or sell
Yeah,
it, one of the two.
because it's a giant sword, right? It doesn't it have a benefit towards giants?
Yes, but
It does.
Mm-hmm.
If we had a barbarian in the party, that would have been like perfect. But
Yeah, I think we should save it just in case, like when a giant comes by, we can swap
I
out.
was I was thinking if we ever found a giant sword, then probably get that because then three of us could use it
that would be
in
sweet.
theory. Because uh, Saberwolf, right? You can don't you have a sword yourself?
I do. But yeah, the
I also
chances.
have one,
Yeah.
and Brennan wouldn't lose his what's it called? He wouldn't lose his default if he had a sword.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's head to Tribor unless someone else has any objections, just so we
I'm
can
fine.
speak to Orthavir again.
Yeah, I kind of want to talk to him. Honestly, I kind of wanted to steal the stuff, but it's fine.
Okay.
You want to steal what?
I wanted to steal that Margastar's stash,
Oh,
but
yes, yes.
yeah, that's okay. We can talk to Othipir.
Okay. The trip from Yartar to Tribor is uneventful. It's a pretty well-traveled path, and even bandits don't typically test their luck on a such a popular road. So you guys make it back to Tribor.
Nice.
Okay. Let's see. So if we're coming from the east, we're probably coming from Evermore Way, I'm assuming.
Correct.
Okay. So, I guess we should
Ooh.
head into the center of town here and look for Orthavir, unless we know where he is already. But um,
You don't. But the first thing that you notice is that a lot of the buildings that were damaged in the battle are still being repaired, but in much better shape than they once were. Even the ones that were badly burnt down.
mhm.
Oh,
You could see
good.
like uh, the foundations of new buildings going up where they once stood. So you guys can make your way to the center of town. And the other thing that you notice, in fact, is that uh, it's much more garrisoned, I guess, for lack of a better word. There's a lot
Good.
more of the guards riding around. It seems like they have been on pretty much high alert since the initial attack.
Nice.
That's good.
Um,
And
Are there any village diggers in this area here that the one giant was trying to dig up that staff? Is there anyone
no,
digging up that or
it's actually the opposite. You notice. You see that there are workers in there, but they are actually filling in a gigantic hole.
oh,
Oh,
interesting.
Oh, so they're
Okay.
trying to prevent. I get you. Interesting.
That makes sense then. Okay.
What do you guys want to do?
Well, if there's a guard nearby or anyone nearby, I'd like to ask the possible whereabouts of Orthavir.
I'm yelling for him. Oh, the bear, we summon you! I'm just throwing it down.
It's not a Pokemon.
I choose you.
It actually, as you call out, you hear a voice behind you, but it's certainly not Othavir. It's actually Darathra, who is the sort of commander, the leader of this town.
Right.
And she says, "I thought I heard a familiar voice there, Xana." She comes up behind you. She says, "How have your travels been?"
Oh, I give her ankle a little hug. And I say, how's the horse?
Oh, he's well. He is well. We unfortunately have not seen only peace in your departure. The fire giants returned several times, and we
Oh
were
my.
able to fight them back. However, we eventually sent a party to parley with them because of their incessant and constant attacks,
Oh my
where
goodness.
we came up with a truce of sorts which allowed them to come in here and dig up whatever it was they were searching for, and in return they have left us in peace.
Whoa.
So they actually, I lift my eyebrow. I'm like, you actually gave them what they wanted.
She said, "What choice did we have? They just kept returning."
But what if it was one piece to a larger puzzle, and now they've got even more power over whatever it is they were trying to get? I don't know if that was a great decision, but you know.
She says, I had little choice. Every time they attacked, I lost more and more good men, and they were wearing us thin."
I see.
Leave her alone, Saberwell. She's my friend.
I see. During your parlays with the giant, did they give any indication as to what this device was for, or what they were going to do with it?
There was no such information that they would pass to us. All I can say is that when they raised it from the earth, it was large and metallic, but sheared and broken as if it was broken off something even larger. They carried it with great reverence, whatever it was, almost as if it was
I see.
almost religious to them or something like this.
Oh my goodness.
Did they indicate where their bases were, or where you could find them if you needed to talk to them again?
Certainly not, no.
I see.
They were
Okay.
quite short with their negotiations.
Did you see what direction they traveled from, at least, or
From here, they traveled
northeast?
almost northeast, correct,
I see.
as if they were heading towards the Evermoors.
Have they returned yet? How long have they been gone?
Well, this happened. The next attack after you had left was probably half a 10-day, and then they continued their attacks several times after that. The negotiations and their departure occurred perhaps 8 days ago.
Interesting.
Have you heard any rumors about any other villagers being attacked in the nearby vicinity, or any other devices that they may be looking for?
There nothing like that. We of course from travelers hear rumors of giant attacks and their kin, but not always fire giants. Even sometimes you hear of the frost giants, the hill giants. Many types of rumors. It's hard to determine which ones are true and which ones aren't, but
I see.
we do hear the rumors.
I see. All right.
Maybe they were eaten. Oh,
Maybe.
no. Who knows?
All right. Have you seen Orthavir by chance?
Yes. Othavir should be in the harness shop where he works, and she points to a building to the north up here.
Okay.
She says, you'll most likely find him there. Oh, the other, perhaps not as significant, but you may remember, I'm sure you must, of what's her face, Tolmara Histrin, the woman with her husband's skeleton in the.
Oh, yes.
yes,
The
yes.
crazy lady. Yes.
Yes.
I heard.
Yes, precisely. Well, she has been carted off to Waterdeep for further study, but she was basically found unfit for trial due to her lunacy.
Ah,
But due to the overwhelming evidence against her, I mean,
she
you
pled
know, it's
insanity, and now she's under psychiatric evaluation. Got it.
yes.
I see.
For what it's worth.
Yeah.
So,
Well, thank you for this information. It's good to know.
yes.
All right. Does anyone have any other business with Darathra here before we go in search of Orthavir?
No.
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 All right. Well, thank you very much, Darathra. You'll be pleased to know that we did contact. We did go to Donavar Tavern. Was it? I can't even read my own handwriting anymore. Drawl to Everland, is it?
Yes. The Hoppers.
The Harper. Yes, we did contact the Harpers, and we did notify them per your wishes. So
Excellent.
you should be rest
Excellent.
assured there.
Yes, I will have to send them word as well about the outcome of these giant attacks on Tribor.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. We'll be off.
Very well. It was nice to see you all.
You too.
You too.
Urgala will be happy to see you as well if you wish to visit her in her inn.
Yes, we did complete her mission as well. So we will go in search of her probably. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
All right.
Okay. So unless you guys have other plans, you can go up to the harness shop and speak with Othavir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you enter, and he's not out front, so you can ask the merchant for him, and he'll lead you back into the room where he's actually making the horse harnesses and such. And he looks up, almost surprised to see you, and he says, "Hello.
Hello,
I see you have
Orthavir.
returned."
Yes. So, what is the deal with your sister?
We know she's your sister.
He looks almost embarrassed that you know his secret,
Yep.
and he says, "Have you told anyone?"
We have
No.
not.
Oh.
And he sort of looks relieved almost. He says, I curse that name, and I wish that no one knew. But please, keep that to yourselves. I have enough trouble as is."
Absolutely.
So, what is her deal? We get the sense that she's dabbled in some kind of dark magical arts. Is this true?
He says, "This would be an understatement. From a young age, me and my sister were brought up to worship demons, perform sacrifices, and all sorts of other things that no child should see. For me, once I came of age, I knew that it was wrong and I had to get out of there, but my sister seems to revel in it. This is why I left there and swore off that cursed name. But yes, they will often perform blood sacrifices. They even go so far as to pay the gate guardsmen, and they are reported to when tieflings enter the city so that they can kidnap them and use their demonic blood for the sick rituals."
Wow.
That's not good.
She asked us to find troll's blood and give her some. Do you know of any demonic use that troll's blood could be used?
Absolutely, yes.
I see. So would you say that she's evil?
Of course.
I would say that whole family is evil.
Okay, just wanted to make that clear.
So, so do you think rubbing shoulders with her, with the troll's blood and all that, that'll get us into her house? Because we're having a tough time trying to, get in there.
I very much doubt it. She's definitely the reclusive type, now that my parents have passed, and she seems to be all by her lonesome now.
Do you have any secret information that we could possibly use to either get inside her estate or some kind of secret that she wouldn't want us to know? I mean, we clearly know that you're relatives, so we're keeping your secret, so it's only fair that you give us some information to help us complete this task.
And if you have a picture of your mom, that'd be kind of cool.
What would that do?
I could make an illusion, trick her or something.
Oh, Jesus.
He says, "I have no love for that woman, and I rid myself of all heirlooms that I once owned that could trace me back to them."
You know what? Good for you. I applaud that.
He Says the
See
only
what
thing
you're
I can
dead.
tell you is that, well, I believe I mentioned this already, that I believe the stash of magic items are located in a carriage.
Correct.
Mm.
The only other thing I could tell you is that inside the tower they have a secret entrance to a hidden basement, and that is where they keep their prisoners and perform their sacrifices and rituals.
Oh my
Does she
lord.
have her own army of sorts? Does she? I mean, she appeared to be by herself, but does she have any sort of like? Can she raise the dead or use some kind of magical minion? Does she have? Does she have any personal guards that we should know
Yeah,
about?
she said she had security. She had her own security, remember?
I correct. So what could she? We didn't see any. So what could she possibly be using as a security system?
He says, well, I believe that there are guardsmen who station themselves in the room above in the second floor of the carriage building.
Interesting.
Um, as for her, as far as I know, and you must remember it's been quite a while since I've seen her. She was even younger than I when I left. But she had no ability to raise the dead or anything like that, although she might have some gifts as a magic caster.
Mhm.
Well, if I understand correctly, this kind of magical practice in such a town would be illegal. Is that not correct?
It would be.
So can we get any sort of proof that we can then give to the guards of the town so that they can do our dirty work and go in there, arrest her, and then we can go in afterwards and get that cache of magical items? Do you have any proof that she's part of the dark arts, or is there any way to prove that you know of that would
We
help our case?
we can get the troll's blood, right?
What would that do?
If we get the troll's blood, tell the guardsmen that we're gonna deliver it to her because she's performing dark arts, and then they see the transaction, maybe they can arrest her on the
But then
spot.
she could claim that the troll's blood is being used for regeneration purposes, like health potions. So
Is that true, Othavir? Can troll's blood be used for health stuff?
He says, I'm no alchemist myself, but they do have regenerative properties. It makes sense, yes.
Dang it. Alright.
we would need some kind of hard evidence that she was performing some kind of dark art or magic. So, any ideas on how to do that, or are you clueless in that area?
He says, when I left, I tried to speak out about the practices of my family, but it fell on deaf ears, either from denial or sheer laziness, for lack of a better word. I could not get them investigated. They have quite a reputable name
I see.
in Everland. It would be difficult to go this route.
I see.
Alright. It's time to off with her
Would you
head.
say that she's a novice in such a dark art, or is she an expert in her field?
I would say that it depends greatly on what she uses her rituals for. I know that when my parents casted these rituals when I was a boy, you could see things on the other side, terrible things, visions of the demonic plane, demons and other horrible creatures which could peer through and see us just as we saw them. It depends greatly on how much favor she's garnered with these demons and
I see.
how much they value her,
How
how
much-
much they have gifted her.
How much knowledge do you have of this demonic magical art?
I know only what my parents showed me, again, which is
Okay.
mainly just
And
communication with the other side.
is there any sort of defense against these dark magical arts that you could recommend?
I could not say. When we communed with them, it was more as allies than enemies, so I didn't see any
Okay.
precautions defensively.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying if we're going to go after these weapons, we need a way to protect ourselves. I mean, if she is a powerful dark arts caster of some kind, and she's and going the legal route is going to be near impossible, then we need a way to protect ourselves so that we're not we don't end up on a sacrificial slab, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to be cautious.
I would
Yes.
like to ask something real quick. You mentioned these gateways. Are these two-way portals that you can travel through?
I have never seen the demons come through, only see them, and they see us, and then communication. But again, I was never able to learn the tongue of the demons, so I could not say what they spoke of. But I've never seen them come through and break the veil.
So if she were to somehow succumb to some sort of, say, accident, would you shed a tear?
Certainly not.
Okay, that says a lot.
I like Othavir.
All right. Does anyone have any other questions for Othavir? I've exhausted all of my thoughts.
Mm-hmm. No.
No?
I don't.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, thank you, Othavir. We'll try to do something about your sister, but we don't have anyone that is well knowledgeable about the dark arts. So we can't promise anything.
I understand, and I only wish to help you with your adventures, and if there was a way to get in there and just get the magical items without bloodshed, that'd be fine. I'm not saying that you should kill them, but
Mhm.
in the end, what you decide to do is your choice, and I will not shed a tear no matter what.
Understood.
Well, we do have a thief in our party,
Mm-hmm.
so who knows?
All right. So what do you guys want to do now? If I remember correctly, I'm looking at my little quest log. The dwarf Weevil was wanted by the city of Marabar, last seen at Xanthral Keep, which is north of here.
Yeah,
Do
I'll
we-
move you back to the map just to.
Yep. Do we want to try that, or do we want to go somewhere else? Xanthral's Keep is up this northern trail from Tribor.
We could give it a go. What does everybody else think? Or do you want to do something else too?
You can give it a try.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I guess.
And remember, you guys do have access to the teleportation circles of the Harpers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
too.
looking at that. There's Everland, Mirabar, Yartar. Okay, so if we go to Yartar, well, let's see. Yartar would be the closest entry circle, and then we would come out where? Neverwinter, Waterdeep, Loudwater. No, I'm just looking. Oh my! So we could go to Yartar, transport
Isn't
to
there a
Mirabar.
sword in your tower?
What's that?
What did you say?
Isn't there a sword in your tower?
The sword in Yartar?
That's what you guys just got last time.
Yeah.
The
Okay, I need to
giant
mark it
sword.
down. Sorry.
No,
Yep, you're
no
fine.
worries. So we could travel east to Yartar, back east to Yartar, fast transport to Mirabar, and then travel south to Xanthral's Keep. I don't know if that would take shorter or longer than just going north up the road. It looks like it'd be a little shorter to go to Yartar.
Probably a little safer.
Probably safer, yeah. So do you want to go back to Yartar, use the transport system, go to Mirabar, and then go south?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be okay, I guess.
All right.
Sounds good.
Let's go east then to Yartar.
Okay. You guys return to Yartar. Again, pretty safe road, so you're able to make it there in a couple of days with no issue.
All right.
More like a day and a half or so.
Cool.
And then, let's see. Where is Yartar? Got way too many maps now.
Uh,
Here we go. Okay, so you guys would enter into Yartar, and you remember that it was like a nondescript building, but it was this one down here, where it
Okay.
was sort of like a secret hideout of the Harpers in Yartar.
Okay.
So you can enter there if you choose, unless there's anything else you want to do beforehand.
Unless anyone has any business that they're waiting on in Yartar, yeah, let's just do that.
Yeah, I'm good.
I don't
Okay. The person who you had met when you came through welcomes you through the door and leads you back to the teleportation circles. You tell them that you want to go to Mirabar, and once again you feel yourself being pulled through the ripples of time and space, and you arrive at hang on, I do have it here somewhere.
Take your time. It takes some time for
All right.
fast travel to work.
It does. Here we go.
Gnarly.
To Mirabar.
Pretty.
Oh,
Now,
nice.
Mirabar is an interesting city. In fact, it's almost like two cities sort of pressed against each other, because on the surface is this human settlement, and that's where you guys come out of. There's like this sort of again, it's not, the Harpers are a secret organization, so with the exception of Everland, where they have that big tower, almost all of their other hideouts are pretty secretive. So you are in another nondescript building in Mirabar. But the thing that's interesting again about Mirabar is that, so there's this human settlement, and then there's this like entrance, this large opening into the mountain. And if you were to go in there, it is a huge dwarven city built into the interior of the mountain. And the way that it works is, it's like there's almost like rings of civilization, and there's this long winding path around the outside that goes sort of like a spiral down deeper and deeper into the city. And near the top is they're smaller rings, and they get bigger as they go down, sort of like a triangle. And at the top is the most wealthy dwarven families and the nicer levels, and as you go down, it just gets more and more sort of like the poverty levels sort of rise in a sense. And at the very bottom is just where the miners live.
Cool.
So, anywho, that's Mirabar.
Okay.
Very cool little city.
Very
So
cool.
if you guys just want to just get moving down to Xantharles, that's fine. If you guys want to kick around and see if there's anything you want to do in Mirabar, that's fine. It's totally up to you.
Does anyone want to ask about this dwarf weevil and maybe get more information about him from, before we head out? Or are we just content to just throw caution to the wind?
I'm getting lost just looking at the spiral, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Confusing.
I knew that would get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to do, guys? Any preference?
Oh, we could ask for more information on Weevil.
Yeah.
It would sort of give us a starting point as to who this person is and why he's wanted.
That's a good idea.
But that's just my vote.
Yeah.
If
I
you
agree.
if you ask a guard, he'll actually direct you to, like, you could see, like, not all over the place, but in certain, like, sort of major intersections of the city, you see these wanted posters with a dwarven face on it.
Interesting.
And if you were to read it, it says, Warvel Forkbeard, also known as the Weevil, also known as Warvel Forktongue, also known as
gosh.
the Luskin Lout, must be brought to justice and punished for the following crimes: murder most foul of the citizens of Mirabar, willful and wanton battery of merchants and other good folk along the Blackford Road, highway robbery along the Mirabar Way, interference in lawful mining activity, theft of ore, theft of equipment and supplies essential for mining, interference in lawful smelting activity, abandonment of good folk in the frozen wilderness, theft of traveling equipment and livestock, kidnapping and ransoming of a pet or familiar, consorting with brigands, consorting with pirates, willful and deceitful failure to pay taxes, defamation of a government official, defamation of a peace officer, and loitering.
Loitering. Well, that last one clinched it for me.
Yeah, he's true evil.
Oh.
He needs to die.
I thought he could be redeemed up until the loitering comment.
Yeah, I mean, they saved the
Right,
worst for last. It's a real punch in the gut when you get to that last one.
Oy vey.
All right.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you were to ask the guard who brought you over as well, I mean, they just have no real further information. It's more of just like, if you bring him here, we'll pay you for this bounty. But we have nothing to go off of, or else we would be conducting our own investigation.
Can they tell us more about Xanthrall Keep? Is it his headquarters? This is this Weevil's headquarters, the entire keep, or is the keep just a hideout for him and he's somewhere in this keep?
So if you were to ask about Xantharo's Keep, you'll find that it's actually sort of like a. I don't think this is exactly the right word, so forgive me, but it's sort of like a hamlet of Mirabar. So it is like a lawful city governed by an official, and then this person reports to Mirabar. They sort of work together.
I see. I didn't want to walk into an actual keep and then he have a gazillion guards that could just slaughter us. So
No.
Okay. All right. All right. So yeah, if you guys would just want to head south to Xanthral's Keep, unless there's some kind of shop or any kind of business that you want to embark on here. Does anyone need anything in a pressing way?
No,
No.
pretty much.
No,
sucked
not
up.
me.
Or set.
No.
All right. Let's head south then to Xanthral's Keep.
Okay. And similar to the road between Tribor and Yartar, these two cities are not really. Xantharal's Keep's not a city by any means, but these two settlements are very well connected and patrolled. So you guys are able to make your way to Xantharal's Keep with little difficulty. So after maybe we'll say like 3 days or so, you guys arrive at Xantharal's Keep, which sort of looks like this.
Hmm.
Oh,
Winter
Now.
is coming.
yeah,
Exactly.
we're thinking Game of Thrones.
Mhm.
Now, for a bit more functional of a map, I'll bring you here. Actually, wait. Let me just check one thing before I do that.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay.
Spooky.
So this is what it looks like from the top down.
Okay.
It's not, again, by any means, especially compared to some of the cities you've seen. It's a very small settlement.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. And if we were coming from the north, we were probably entering from the northwest here, this road, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is getting into Xantharal's Keep free access?
Yep.
Okay.
Gates are open. You actually see, despite its size, it's very well fortified. There's like a about a 20-foot wall that surrounds the entire keep, and as you guys walk through the gatehouse, before you enter it, you look up and you see that they have these large ballistas mounted on top, like they can pretty well defend themselves in the event of a major siege or anything like that.
Do we see these wanted posters of Weevil here as well?
You don't see them here, no.
Okay. I just didn't want to... I don't want the inhabitants to know that we're looking for this guy if some of them are in cahoots with the Weevil himself.
Yeah, no, it's at least from looking, as you walk through the gate and sort of go into this main sort of what's the word I'm looking for here? Thoroughfare, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see any like wanted posters or anything like that.
I see.
Interesting.
Okay, so is there... trying to think. Are there any clear landmarks that we can see? I mean, there's clearly like a keep in the center here.
Yes.
Is there like a law office or anything like that nearby? An administration?
You would think that if it was anywhere, it would probably be in that big keep in the center.
Okay.
Hmm.
What do you guys want to do? Any ideas?
I'm gonna wear a pirate eye patch, so I can if he notices me, he'll think like I'm a good recruit.
Okay. Are the people dressed in this town, are they dressed as common people, or do they look more shady, and like what's the general consensus on the type of people living here?
Be good folk. As far as like dress wear goes, I mean, and this was definitely true in especially in Mirabar. I mean, everyone is more bundled up because it's just colder here. You're much closer to the north.
I see.
The frozen north. But long story short is yes, they seem to be good, lawful people, just
Okay.
living their lives.
I didn't want to like be walking into like the Moss Eisley Tavern or something, the cantina,
Wow.
So
Wretched hive of
scum
scum
and
and
villainy. Exactly.
of course.
Okay.
You must be cautious.
I'm paranoid and cautious. It works.
Yeah.
All right. So let's, if everyone agrees, I guess we can head toward the keep in the center and look for some kind of law office and see
That
what
sounds
they
good.
have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can enter the keep. Again, it's open. It's not like it's closed off. Like it's like there are areas, and you could see on the map too that there's another wall that goes around the keep itself,
Hmm.
just as an extra layer of defense that can be closed off. But it's open right now, and you can enter the keep as you wish. And as you enter, there seems to be like a great hall that might be used for celebrations or feasts or this sort of thing. And as you keep going, you could see that there's sort of like more offices and that sort of thing in the back where you could try to find somebody if you want to speak to like who are you trying to talk to?
Just some kind of law official or maybe a clerk
Magistrate,
or
perhaps.
yeah,
Right.
someone that we know would be on the side of good.
Okay,
If that
sure.
makes any
Right.
sense.
Sure. You there as you're sort of wandering around, a a small halfling woman approaches and she sort of says, "You look lost. Can I help you?"
Hi. Yes, we were hired to deliver a message to someone called Weevil. Would you happen to know his whereabouts?
Says, "No. That name is oddly familiar for some reason, but I can't say that I know this person. No."
Okay. Um, anyone else have the reason? And I'm just talking to the rest of the party now. I don't want to tip our hand that our goal is to bring this guy in.
Right.
Because if someone on his side overhears that, they may ambush us or something. So
Yeah.
if we're just delivering a message, we're non-threatening.
Hmm.
So
Would this? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask. Is there like some sort of records office? Maybe we could look this guy up. Maybe he's got a house in town, or I don't know. Maybe
Yellow
there's
pages.
yeah. Maybe there's a record of him. Uh,
She says, "We do keep records like this. You're free to browse them if you'd like."
Please, can you show us
Okay.
where this is?
Sure, and she takes you back into like a room that's like it's like dusty and it doesn't look like it's like the most hopping place in the keep, but there's books and ledgers spread about, and you could see that one of them is like sort of like a log of people purchasing deeds and this sort of thing.
Okay. Can we? Well, I'll take a moment to look through the deeds and try and find one with Weevil's name on it or any of his AKAs.
Sure. You look through the list, which is pretty exhaustive, going back at least 100 years or so, and you don't see any names that certainly none of his aliases that were mentioned on the wanted poster.
Mm-hmm.
But even beyond that, you only find that there are a couple of dwarves who own property in all of the keep, and they have been here for quite a while.
interesting.
Do we have how many dwarves are we talking about?
There's 3 in total.
3.
Total.
Should we
Okay.
go door to door to each one and just ask them? Just we're trying to deliver a message to Weevil and see how the person at the door responds. Or
Yeah.
what do you guys want to do?
I like that idea.
Hmm.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, if we could, I don't know where these places are on the map, but if we could just take a moment and go around to the maybe the first house, knock on the door, and see who answers.
Sure. So you can you can write down the plots basically where they are, and you approach the first house, knock on the door, and like this very even for by dwarven standards, elderly dwarf comes out, very gray and long beard, and he says, "Yes, what can I do for you?"
Oh, hi.
Oh
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, no.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we have to be careful not to tip our hand, because if one of these guys does happen to be the Weevil, then he's going to know something's up, that we're looking
Right.
for him. So maybe we should,
Right. That whole
ask him.
right. That's why I was saying like we're here to deliver a message to
Oh,
the
right,
Weevil
right.
rather than here to apprehend him. So yeah, I would just tell the dwarf that I'm talking to. Hi, we're looking for we're looking for someone named the Weevil. We were hired to deliver a message to him, and
You
we were
say it
just
in dwarf. He doesn't understand you with a dwarven accent.
Oi! I can't. Oi! I sound like an angry Italian person. Oi!
Don't you have like a beard? Dwarven.
I do have a dwarven beard, so I'm hoping I could use that to my favor.
You can tell he's admiring your beard.
Oh, goodness.
I'm just
Usually, you
also-
humans can't grow beards like that.
I am no ordinary human, sir.
Clearly.
Yes, clearly. Wow, that accent. So we're looking for someone named the Weevil. We were hired to deliver a message. Would you happen to know any other? Are you the Weevil? And if not, would you be able to point us in the direction of him if you know him?
He says, I am not the Weevil, and I do not know him.
I see. All right. Well, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Maybe we could do a perception check and see if he's lying.
Yeah, that's
It'd
actually
be more
a good
insight.
idea.
Or
Yeah,
insight.
you guys
yeah.
can do some insight checks, sure.
All right.
Okay.
I will insight. That should be good, hopefully.
Mhm.
Wow, sunset.
Ooh. Excellent job, Sunset.
Nice.
So, Sunset, he just looks like a lonely old dwarf. Doesn't seem to have a mean bone in his body.
Do you
Oh,
want to go cuddle and get petted?
Okay.
Aw.
Wow. All right.
Wait, what?
Just like old people.
That was unexpected.
He says, Jesus, did that cat just talk?
Oh, goodness.
Yes, I did. I'll come back and visit.
Okay. He's clearly never seen a tabaxi before and is a little unsettled by not only your size, but your ability to talk.
Oh,
so
my.
funny.
Wait till she does math. Oh man.
Yes.
He'll kill all your spiders, old man.
Yes, I will.
All right. I guess we'll go to the second house on our list.
Second house is a dwarven woman, actually.
Oh.
Interesting.
And she answers the door, and she also has some facial hair. And she says,
Ugh.
Yes, what can I do for you?
Hi. We're hired to deliver a message to someone named the Weevil. Would you happen to know this person?
She says, I don't. How
Okay.
come you don't know him if you're supposed to deliver a message to him?
It was a very cryptic quest. We were just supposed to deliver this message, no questions asked. We only were told that he resided somewhere in Xanthorol Keep, but we don't know much more information than that. I'm sure you can understand, some people want their secrets kept to themselves, so we're just delivering a message.
Make a deception check.
Seriously? Okay.
Oh, boy.
Okay. I thought that was pretty convincing, but okay.
Well, we're going to see how convincing it is.
Okay.
Good roll, good roll, good roll.
Oh!
Well, okay then. This is
Wow.
why I don't talk.
All right, then, keep your secrets.
You just wanted to say that. You just. Wow. Okay. Just you had to work a Lord of the Rings reference in there somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
That's cool. I'd like to roll an insight check to see if she is lying as well.
Well,
Of course, go ahead.
Nev just
Oh.
rolled at 22, so there you go.
Oh,
Oh.
nice.
Come on.
That works.
Yeah,
Great roll.
so fair enough. Xana, you can tell that this is, despite the facial hair, a dwarven woman and certainly not the Weevil. She doesn't seem to be lying or holding anything back from you.
Okay.
Wow. All right. Well, there's only one house left on our list.
I look at Saberwolf and I shrug. Seems
You
innocent to
guys,
me.
you guys make your way to the final house on the list, and you could tell from the outside that it looks dilapidated. And as you knock, there's no answer, and you could even push open the door and see that it's been long abandoned.
Interesting.
Can we look around?
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe a perception check before we go in the house, in case there's any
Yeah.
sort of booby trap or something.
I want to do a perception check once I'm in the house. See if we can't find him. Maybe he was here type of thing.
Well, someone else can do a perception check. There we go.
Jeez Louise.
Sign of things to come.
Let's go in.
Oh, wow.
Just
Um,
25, 26.
Yeah, if you guys are just sort of looking in, like through the windows or whatever, you can see that, first of all, it doesn't look like there's any kind of booby traps or anything like that. There's like a thick layer of dust on everything. It looks like it's just an abandoned house.
Okay, so can we look to see if it's been recently abandoned, or do we notice that, like, are there anything, like any half-eaten food or drinks that were
No,
rupturedly
so
left behind, kind of thing?
based on the percent, we'll just use the same checks as before.
Mhm.
It looks like it's been long abandoned,
okay.
even to the point where, like, you can see, like, if you take a few steps back, that like shingles off the roof have been stolen, probably to
Wow.
repair neighbors' shingles that had broken or something like that.
I see.
Like, it looks like it's been like this in disrepair for quite a while.
Interesting.
Could we perhaps do a thorough check of the house to see if there's maybe an attic or a basement?
Sure,
Or
sure.
how do we do that? Just do we do another perception check or?
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys can go. You can enter the house. I don't have like a map for you or anything like that.
Okay. Okay.
But you can enter the house, and the door wasn't locked. It's just open. And as you enter, you could see, like, there's like the main room here seems to just be like a sort of living quarter. There's a place where you could like read your book or whatever. There's no upstairs.
Okay.
And there is a door that you find that goes down to a basement, and what you find in there is like barrels filled with now spoiled, probably what was once like fruits or something like that. You
Alright.
find one that seems to have liquid in it, but you can't see inside of it. It's more like there's a tap on it.
Mm.
As a hunter, would I notice any dust that's been, like, any footprints or any
That's
sign that someone has been here recently?
Do a survival check.
Okay. Survival.
I
Okay.
can try a survival. What? There we
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow.
Could you guys not crit on every single check?
How do we win the
Fine.
game? Okay.
Yeah,
there you go.
Step
There
by
you
step guide. Step 1, crit everything all the time.
It's actually mine, which is scary because it means we're gonna get to combat and I'm gonna fail hard.
Yeah.
What are the giants
Or-
after? Crit. Well,
Yeah. So, Sunset, what you can determine with a great deal of confidence is that nobody's been in neither the main floor or the basement in many years. I mean, it looks like things have, there was once like something pushed against the wall here that's no longer there, but it looks like whatever it was removed years and years ago. It just looks abandoned.
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay.
So it
But I'm wasting my
seems
checks
like
on
it seems like this guy has up and left for a while now, so he's probably stationed somewhere else, unless he's living in another house, like hiding out. I don't know. So we would need more help in locating this person.
I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we have Dragoon
Yep.
do his
Criminal.
what do you call his criminal thing?
Yeah, we could.
He's-
I wanted to avoid having to pay money again, but if we can get it for free, then sure, I'd say let's go for it.
Did
like
everybody leave the game or did mine crash?
Yours must have crashed.
I see you and Vincent, that's it.
I see everybody. Just try reloading the page or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify too. The reason that you guys had to pay such a large fee in Yartar is because that was like an organized crime, like
Ah,
organization. I know that's a terrible explanation
no,
as
it's
far as
good.
verbiage
No,
goes,
it was
but
the Thieves Guild. Yeah, I get it.
yeah. So they don't do things for free, but if you wanted to, you could ask around here and probably find some sort of criminal,
Okay.
thieves canter that could potentially help you if you wanted to try that.
All right, Dragoon, go do your thing.
Say it's
Sorry.
a message though, not that we're looking for him for something else.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Right.
don't
Even
say.
with the
Don't,
thief
don't
thing.
tip our hand.
So what should I? I mean, we're in an abandoned house, so we should probably leave the abandoned house.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, now we're outside, and yeah,
We're
see
looking
if you
for a
can find
tavern.
someone that
We
you
should probably look
recognize.
for. We should probably look for a tavern or
Yeah.
some place that's more.
It's a good idea.
Sure, you guys can go into. There's only really one tavern here,
Tavern.
so you can enter there, and as you guys sit to drink and look around, you do see that there is like a cloaked individual at one of the tables sitting by himself, and you could probably try to approach that person if you wanted to.
Dragoon approaches to the table,
Okay.
and he does the thieves' cant to see if, like, the talking, to
Mhm.
see if they communicate.
Yep, they respond back with sort of like a cryptic message that basically confirms that they are also a thief, a criminal
They're-
contact, as it were.
We do the thieves' cant and ask. We're trying to send a message to someone named Weevil. Do you have any clue, idea where he is or who he is, and any of his location of his whereabouts?
And again, in Thieves' Cant, he basically relays the message that I know where he is and I can deliver a message if necessary. What do you need?
Oh boy.
Well, wanted to ask where he is because we have a message we have to personally deliver.
He says
Like, it's
he's
a
being kept outside of town in a safe house.
Okay.
Can you
Can you
give us the
tell
exact location of the safe
location?
house?
He says
Probably not.
I can bring the message for you, but unless it's absolutely necessary.
It's
What about
absolutely
what if
necessary.
what if we like just signify that like we want to be recruits, you know? Like we want to be recruited for like his little gang of thieves.
Do we really want to do that?
No, we're
I mean, Dragoon could probably get away with it, but
Yeah.
Renee is wearing plate armor. I mean,
That's
I'm saying.
I mean, we could try it if you want to. I'm all up for trying it if you want to do that. I mean, I'll
Nah.
probably fail miserably,
we
but
should
I
probably
would say
just
we all
try it.
have to like pass deception on that point. That ain't
Yeah,
happening.
that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
But at least we now know that there is a safe house outside of
Yes.
town.
well,
I need to pull up my character sheet real quick to see what my favorite enemy types are. I know it's humanoids and something else, but I don't remember off the top of my head what it is. So that's my bad.
anyway, that's
So yeah, keep talking or keep doing your thing, and I'll see if I can find what my preferred types are.
this message is very important. We need to get to him immediately. So if you know, we need to. It's a message that's secretive. If you know, you probably know.
He says the dwarf is paying us protection money. It would be unwise to bring strangers to him. You can understand.
That's true.
I do understand.
Would he be privy to a bribe, perhaps?
Would like money money or do you want like money in order to bring us to him?
He says the dwarf is paying us 150 gold pieces. If you can match this, he's yours.
Oh my! Well,
I
what do
s-
I have?
I say we. I say
I have
we.
320.
We now know that he's. That's. I say that we now know that he has a safe house outside of town. All we need to do is there's a trail here right outside of town. We could travel south. There are some buildings down here that we could investigate. I'm sure we could just stumble across this location if we. I mean, there's not that many places
Those
to
are
look.
buildings, but look, those little tiny ones. I bet those are all houses.
What little tiny?
Or maybe I'm looking at it wrong.
I'm
They look like
I'm
little
looking at
rocks.
I'm looking at these
Yeah,
buildings in the southwest.
these
Yeah,
little
down here?
tiny
Yeah.
things. What are
Those
these?
look like rocks.
This is like a large cemetery, like with
Oh,
mausoleums.
wow.
Oh, okay, never mind.
That makes sense.
The little rocks are
I'm
headstones.
sorry. I thought
Let's
those
go
were
to
like
the
houses, and
cemetery.
I thought those were like bigger buildings. I'm sorry.
No,
No, you're
I
fine.
understand. It's not perfectly clear. I just wanted to let
They
you guys
are
know that.
they
It's
are
a
houses
cemetery.
for dead people, right?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
Brenane
Okay.
has cartography skill, is there maybe a way
Yeah,
he
that's
can deduce, based off of his skill, the possible and likely locations of a hideout if it existed in that area? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I don't
most
think we need to pay money if we can either stumble upon it or make some educated guesses ourselves.
point.
Right.
Good point. Yep. Good point.
I'm to agree with that. I don't want to give up my money. I'm feeling greedy today.
I'm going to say that just having skill in cartography wouldn't allow you to find a hideout
base.
in the middle
Okay.
of nowhere.
Gotcha. Well, can I use my ranger skill? I mean, I know my favorite enemies are humans and orcs, but maybe the Weevil has human bodyguards.
Don't you have like a tracking skill?
Well,
I don't have a tracking skill that I know of. I mean, I have it. I can track particular enemies, and I can sense enemies of my. I can sense favored enemies, basically.
Okay.
Humans and orcs, and now giants. But do I sense, using my skill? Do I sense any humanoids? I guess we should go out of town first, but I could use my ability to see if there's any humanoids in this area down here. That could be.
That would probably be the protection, I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean, unless he has a
Okay.
posse full of dwarves.
Right?
Mhm.
Right.
What if
Exactly.
what if I can like find like a little rodent or something, show them the picture of the wanted poster,
Oh my goodness.
and point them, in the direction like where they could find. I don't know.
Yeah, try it. Why not?
I have a beast thing as well, where I can convey simple messages and stuff to beasts.
Yeah, or
So-
hell, we could even use
they're
whisper.
not beasts though.
Yeah, we could have
Tristan.
Whisper do a flyby of the area and see if he
All right.
notices anything.
So
That's a good point.
why don't we just politely say thank you to our the person that we're talking to at the table, and thank him for his time, and
Okay.
and head out of town right at the front gate here. And before we do anything, I'd like to maybe do a sense humans and orcs and giants to the south, just to see if I sense anything in that area.
I mean, you sense the occasional human out in the woods, maybe a hunter. You're not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, even as you sort of pan around, it's going to be the same. There might be greater concentrations here and there, but it's not going to just like definitively tell you which direction is the correct one. You might have to check on the ones that you were sensing.
I see. Can we ask Whisper to fly high enough so that he couldn't be attacked by, say, an arrow or something, but maybe do a
Right,
flyover just to see what he sees or she sees?
Sure. Sure.
Go, Whisper, go.
So Whisper can
Yeah.
fly up into the air, and you point, or you can even speak to Whisper and say like, scout over there, and it'll fly high in the air, get a good vantage point, and sort of fly off into the distance where you can no longer see it. And after a certain amount of time, it will come back. But I mean, are you guys able to actually speak to Whisper?
Well, I only can convey simple messages with my beast ability. I don't think I
Yeah,
don't
same.
have a talk to animals thing. Can I just Whisper, can you give me a paw maybe?
Right.
If you
exactly.
see anybody at those buildings to the south?
I mean, this is going to be well out of the range of the town where you're sensing the humanoids. It's not like on this map. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
I see, okay.
So
Like they're out in the woods.
So maybe the hideout isn't on this map. Maybe it's further.
Correct.
I see.
So these
Can we see the main map then, just to see a possible likely location?
Sure.